Greetings, YouTube, and welcome back to what I assume is going to be part 2 of a 3-part series where I look and review the brand new Oreo ice cream flavors that are sweeping the country, unless you ask the person that checked me out at the local Walgreens who said no one ever buys them. But you know who does and has 2 thumbs? This guy. So, I want to give a big shout out to a former student, Miss Alex Dusky, and her boyfriend Jace, who painstakingly rewatched part 1 over and over again because I told her that I included some graphics in it. The thumbnail for the first part of this wasn't some kind of clickbait BS. I actually did edit Hercules into the video. The problem is, I accidentally, after all that work, uploaded the basic pre-produced version of that review to YouTube instead. I didn't realize until she was texting me that after all those views, there were no graphics there. She felt like she was going crazy, and I realized, oh, well, you must have felt like you were crazy because there were none in there. So, hey, I worked hard enough to get the graphics ready. Last time we compared it to, what up, Nebula? You see her now? See? She's actually there. Nebula was kind of where the first part landed on the tier list. We didn't see the thumbnail and the guy who's going to be next to me now, Hercules. It wasn't the best ice cream ever. But I talk a lot about value on my channel, and I also want to shout out the people because I posted this to my personal Facebook, and it's like the first time I've posted a video in maybe months. It's the first time in years I posted an Oreo review on the channel where people don't have to play the game to actually understand what the heck I'm talking about. That's kind of comforting to be able to send this to, say, some church family, like my church mom, Jean, or my beautiful girlfriend, Israel, who actually has agreed to be in and watch multiple videos, even though she doesn't play the game, which you want to talk about a resume for sainthood. So, we have these Oreo bars. Now, what's interesting about this is that it's the exact same price. It was $5.99 as the last one we reviewed. But, instead of 4 ice creams, you get 5. That's right. You get 1 extra. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, that's because it is indeed smaller. There is a stick. It's like a popsicle kind of thing attached to this one. Maybe because it's supposed to stick with you long after you've had it. Or maybe it's going to just give you the cold shoulder. I don't know. You can make your own analogies to the shape of this. I'm just going to say it's a universal one that can sometimes create life. But without further ado, let's see if this is better or worse than the Nebula tiered one we reviewed last. Okay, so there are a lot of consistencies with this one in the past ice cream sample. You have a similar hard coat of chocolate. You have a Oreo ice cream that resembles that of cookies and cream. And I think what's really interesting about this is, you don't have the payoff that the cone had because you're holding a stick. And if you try to eat that, unless you're like, I don't know, a beaver, you're probably just going to send yourself straight to the dentist before long. So, if you have a similar chocolate coating to the previous one, but you've replaced the nice edible chocolate ice cream cone with a popsicle stick, that's just not as high on the tier list as the previous ice cream. I'm sorry, Oreo. It's just not going to work for me. So, we are going to go in an MCOC style. And yes, I am bringing in the graphics for this one. Instead of Nebula, no, not that high. We're going to go with the way that the community felt post-Nebula, but in a different buff that didn't go so well. And that was when they first attempted to buff what I call sometimes the Oklahoma suburbs or New Jersey, and that's the hood. The community remembers there's a bunch of hype, and then a lot of people actually asked for him to be reverted, and he was, because he was such a disappointment. They said, just imagine if you have no idea what I'm talking about. Just imagine that like you pay for a toll road, and everybody says that the toll road is going to be way nicer once it's done, and then when you actually drive on it, it pops your tires, and you just wish that you could not only get your money back, But you could go back to the way the road was before the construction happened. That's how this felt in the community. And yes, toll road analogies can drive you crazy. Thanks for watching. I can guarantee it. The graphics will be in this one. Shout out Alex Deskey and her awesome boyfriend. Thank you for rewatching that first video several times. I'm sorry if it makes it to where you have to go to therapy, but I know your success story, so at least you'll be able to afford it.